All right, we are live on one. We are live on two. And I'm in the camera now. Hello. This is my chorus line hat. Tits and
Well, I think
ass.
it's appropriate. I do love those kind of hats, though.
I do too. This one actually came from England. I ordered it from London, England, from their factory there. And
Really?
yes, and because it was cheaper to order it and have it shipped than try to buy a fake one here.
Well, I love that hat. I want one of those. This is my latest hat. This is the next one I found. I bought all these for my mom.
Well, and now you have them, so you're curious.
Now I have them.
And now
this one, I like this one. I like this one a lot.
Well, I was going to tell you that if you're in the parking lot and you fall and you lose the hat, it's because I've tripped you and taken it. Because I love that hat. Love, 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 love.
Okay. Well, okay.
So we have Gail Hudson, we have Elizabeth Harbin, and we have Deborah Colleen Rose. We are the Spiritual Neighborhood Lunch Bunch, even though we're not eating.
And to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with us through email by going to spiritualneighborhood@gmail.com.
Yes, and you people can ask questions. I don't mean that you're going to get answers. Maybe you will.
You can ask.
But you can ask.
Okay, not get an answer.
Yeah, if you want to be on the show, because this is a show, we show our butts regularly here.
Well, some do.
Yes, you do, darling.
Take that.
I know.
Take that. Yeah.
So, if you want to be on the show, because if you do something wonderful or try to do something wonderful, or want to do something wonderful, we want to hear about it. Do you make people laugh?
Seriously.
Do you make beautiful things?
Yeah, we need it. We need that right now.
We do.
That's for sure.
We do.
Let's interview you then. We need a good laugh. Let's interview you.
Yeah, so tell us about you, Deborah. What is your passion?
All right, so let me tell you, because it's real hard for me to focus on one thing, because I have done a lot. Let me tell you what I haven't done. I have not robbed a bank. I've never been arrested and gone to jail, even though I used to work in the jail system. I have never murdered.
So you've never been in prison?
No, never been in county jail, city jail, none of those.
Okay, mark that question off. Okay, mark that off. Okay.
I've never murdered anyone.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
But I probably have broken all the other commandments. So. So it leaves the door wide open.
Well, yeah. Now it's like, oh my gosh! Now there's too many questions to even think of. I do have a question for you though.
Oh, good.
Do you have a story about the funniest thing that's ever happened to you when you were out reading at a party?
Well, yeah, but I've already told it. The funniest thing is the gay men that groped me all night and put $75 in my bra.
Oh, geez. Okay, I forgot about that. Never mind. Why did I go back to that? Oh,
I really don't have that many funny stories happen when I'm entertaining. I have more just really heart melting stories of people that, that cry. I make a lot of people cry at the parties. I do have a story I want to tell though. I do.
They're good cries, right?
Yeah, they're good cries because you would okay, so here's one I want to tell you. I was doing strolling lip print readings, which means we walk through the crowd. Most of the time people think you're one of the guests, if you dressed right, and they just think you're hanging out talking to them. And then you go, oh, I'm part of the entertainment. Would you like me to do a lip print reading, or, something of that manner. Or no, this night I was actually doing wine readings where, I will ask people about their experience with wine and then tell them about themselves. Okay. And I was talking to this young man, good looking man and very young. And he told me, I asked two questions. He answered my two questions. And I said, this is who you are, blah, 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 blah. I just regurgitate things. I talk really fast. And he looked at me and his mouth fell open. I'm like, oh man, I've done something bad here. What's going on? And he leaned over because he was like 6'6", and he bent over and he just wrapped me up in his arms and he started weeping. I don't mean
no.
weeping. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, what have I done? What am I doing here? And I'm like, and I'm patting him on the back. I'm like, it's all right, baby. It's all right, baby. And he leads up and he kisses me on the cheek. He goes, I don't feel like anyone has ever seen me before. You saw me.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, even now I get chills just telling that story.
That's intense.
And I have a lot of experiences like that. Okay. And, and it's always amazing to me when people kind of label themselves with spiritual gifts, like that I'm this or that, because just when I get comfortable with a gift, I get a new one, and I sat down one time and took a test with Sharon because, Sharon was always frustrated with me because I wouldn't accept my gifts outwardly a lot. And, at one time I had like 15 gifts, or whatever. And she's like, and it's not going to stop. And she's been right. They just keep accumulating. But it's how they hit me that drives me nuts. I was at a wedding one time and I was doing a handwriting analysis and lip print readings. Okay. That's fun for weddings. People love that. So, you have your wedding, they have some entertainment, they eat cake, and we keep everybody laughing. Well, this one woman came up to me, and it's an outdoor wedding and it's in East Texas. So you have to be really careful sometimes in your venues because people get a little freaked out, by what we do. And I can't tell you how many times people will go, are you a Christian? And I'm like, yes. They go, okay. And then they'll sit down at my table.
Really?
Yeah. And then they're perfectly comfortable. And I talk to a lot of people that do parties and they don't have that experience. I do. So I'm bringing to the table other people that might not normally do this, And she comes up to me and she goes, do you talk to dead people? And I said, well, not on purpose. And at that time I didn't. Hey, not my thing.
Not intentionally, no.
No, absolutely not. And it's getting more and more where I do, but, at that time, no, not on purpose. And she just looked terrible. I mean, she looked like I had kicked her dog. And she walks off. And I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? This is a party, and I'm hired to do something. And I'm sitting at my table, and all of a sudden this voice screams at me, literally, go get her! What? You heard me. Yeah, I heard you. Okay. And so then I got this buttload of information, and I went and got her. I said, ma'am, come back to my table, be very discreet, be very quiet, but I need to talk to you for a minute, okay? And you can't have a reaction because it will freak people out, okay? So she did. I said, so I have a young man here. He's blonde, he's gorgeous, and for whatever reason, he's nude. But he's standing under a waterfall, and that waterfall is flowing into a lagoon, and it's beautiful, and his arms are outstretched, and he's turning around not to show me that he's naked, but to show me how happy he is. And he says to me that this is not the way he intended it to be, but it is beautiful. He's happy. He's complete. The word is complete. That's very important for you to hear. And that you are a wonderful mother. Well, she immediately starts sobbing. I'm like, ma'am, you made me a promise. You said you would be calm.
Yeah, well, that's hard to do, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
So she's leaning on me like she's fixing her shoe, but she's crying, and she's, and I'm holding her up, and she goes, I know you have to get to work. She goes, but the man that you just described, because I went into great detail about how he looked, is my son. And he committed suicide. He committed suicide 3 months ago by drowning in the pool.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh,
I don't get funny
okay.
stories. I get weird stories, at the least, least expected time, when you're like, no, this is not the time and place. So, people that have more control over the messages they get, I really admire them because I don't have any control over it.
Wow.
They just come when they want to come.
Well, I don't think it's weird. I think it's amazing. I think it's,
No, I do too.
yeah, and so healing for her that she was able to move on because, there's that guilt sometimes the parents feel after something like that. Like they're
Oh.
responsible
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I've always told God, I said, I know I can't bargain with you, but I can tell you what I want and what I don't want in life. I said, I will do anything you want me to do. I will go through anything that you put me through if you will please try to remember that I don't think I could handle losing a child. You know,
Right.
and that's, I don't believe in bargaining with God, but I can tell him what I want. And, you know, so that was the way I drew my, kind of not drawing my line in the sand, but it was kind of like making my wishes known. So, you know,
Right.
I'm sorry, I have
Well, let me ask
allergies.
you something. I've got a question. I have another question.
I got an
Gail,
answer.
interrupt me at any time. How did this lip reading come about? That lipstick reading. How did that come about?
That's something that Catherine promotes with her company. You remember Catherine Krieger that was here? Okay. And I work with her at her party company, and it's something that she came up with. She's not the only company that does that, to be frank, but it's just a fun thing. And it's the same premise as like reading palms, okay? The lines and the shape of the lips and the lines and the spaces and where they put their lips on the paper. There's something to be said about everything in that process. And we all have some of the basic knowledge, just like, everybody has a basic knowledge of palm reading, but then we all bring our own interpretation to that. And so I always focus on, when I do any kind of reading, I focus on people's communication styles, because I have found that communication is so important on contentment and happiness, because if you don't communicate well, and if you don't receive information well, and if you're not transparent and vulnerable in your communication, that affects the whole quality of your life. So I always, whether it's handwriting, cards, I always talk about that. And I talk about how they communicate, how they hear, what they do with that information, how they process it, and if they're, kind of hardcore about being stubborn. I always look for stubbornness as well.
I think we need to do that and send that to you and have you talk to Gail and I about that.
That'd be fun. So all you have to, here's what you do. Here's what you do. You put on some lipstick. And it can't be the stains or the mattes that don't come off, because they won't leave a print. So,
Right.
And so you put it on and you kiss the card. And here's what I tell people: kiss it like you love it, but no tongue. No tongue. My hat's too big. And
the first thing I thought of was, I think, what is it? Young Frankenstein. No. Or is that Blazing Saddles? I don't know which one. Never mind.
I don't know. This is your story.
I digress. Okay, so I've got lipstick on it. I'm going to kiss the card.
Yeah. You're going to kiss it like you love it. Do you remember what that's like? How long has it been since you've had sex? She didn't hear me.
You just need to just stop that right now.
Well, this is kind of the banter that I do at parties. We do all kinds of things. I respond to people, and because I like to make them laugh. I love to make people laugh. I really do.
It looks like a vampire got a hold of this.
Okay. So I'm only going to do one thing on yours, okay? Because really, I don't want Catherine to get mad at me for doing something unofficial. But if you look at the smudge on the side of your lips, okay, I always look on the outside of the lips. That right there is a truly formed angel wing. When people have these little smudges to the side of their lips, that tells me where they are in their spiritual development, And you have one that's completely formed. Now, that doesn't mean that you're where you need to be in the completion of your journey, but you have hit the halfway mark real well. Okay?
Oh my God.
You're also very private.
Oh my God.
You're very selective on who you tell things to. I told you I wasn't going to do that. I'm going to stop. But that right there itself, though, is incredible. Okay? So.
Okay, you got me with the angel wing. That's for sure.
Yeah, you thought you were gonna trip me up, sister.
Wow. No, I think that's awesome.
Well, I'm going to tell you, in all the years I've been doing that, I've never seen one that developed, ever. And I had done lip prints for rabbis and pastors.
See that?
Yeah.
That's a fully formed angel wing.
You need to frame that and keep it.
goodness.
You need to frame that and keep that. Frame that and
Well,
keep
next
that.
time you
I will,
choose
I will.
here, sign it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah, and then she'll start looking at the hand, analysis and go, well, maybe I was wrong about that being an angel wing. I don't think that was really appropriate.
now I always
I'll
tell.
keep this. Seriously, I will keep. That was fascinating. I love stuff like this. I love this.
See,
this
and what-
is what I like at parties.
And see, what freaks people out is they come to me and they have two assumptions about me: that I'm like a mad grandmother in a minivan, or that, or that I'm just real straight.
But a gun.
Yeah, well, they don't know that, unless I have it laying on the table, or that I'm just really kind of straight and middle American. So, and then I'll come off with one of my off-color jokes, and that throws them off kilter. And then when I sit there and peer into their soul and see the thousand depths of, in 5 minutes, which I do often, I'm not bragging, I just see these things, then they like totally freak out. Totally freak out. And for me, this is so weird. The best validation of what I do and what it does for people came from another reader. And I'll be frank, she sat down with an attitude. And she goes, I'm a professional reader. Show me what you got. I'm like, okay. And that's where I came up with my famous tagline. I have the right to be wrong because I'm human, but I never am. So I just threw that at her to kind of lighten the load a little bit, and lighten the mood, because I mean that's kind of intimidating for anybody, I would think. I'm a reader. Show me what you got. Yeah. And so I did a read.
Nothing will make me madder quicker than having somebody with that kind of an attitude sit down in front of me, so I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, and you're not allowed that
It
luxury.
You're not. Doesn't it hit you wrong?
Yeah.
Doesn't it hit you wrong?
Oh, I wanted
immediately.
I wanted to pinch her nipple. It pissed me off, But you're not allowed to do. Where did Elizabeth
I
go?
wasn't drinking my coffee like Elizabeth was.
Where did she go?
It probably went through the nose.
Went through my. Thank you.
So anyway,
I never do that when I'm talking to you. Why do I do that when I'm talking? I have no idea why do I do that.
I don't know. So anyway, I did her reading.
Okay.
I have no idea what I told her. I gave her a straight reading. I just threw the cards down, read them, told her what the card said, and she started bawling. And I went, oh God, I don't even know what that means now. What the hell? So she goes, you're the real deal. And she just got up, didn't say another word, and left. That was it.
Wow.
What do you do with?
I love those stories. I love that, but it does. It's amazing how. It's just amazing how some people have those attitudes. I mean, seriously, serious attitudes about prove this or prove that, or show me this or show me that.
Well, I take it this way. I think that that's God's gift to me, because He knows that I don't doubt Him, but I doubt myself constantly. Because I've been doing this since I was 4 years old. And when you're a kid, people don't take you seriously. They just don't.
Oh, not at all.
And
that's for sure.
So you just grow up going, okay, well, they're the experts, they're the adults, they're all powerful, all knowing, because they're the parents or the aunts and uncles or the teachers or whatever. So maybe they're right and I'm wrong. So you grow up with this. I don't think it's a lack of self-confidence, but for me, it's always kind of a template of, let's do our due diligence, basically. Let's double check this, make sure, it is what it is. It's only been in the past 5 years I've gotten comfortable saying, here it is, take it or leave it, throw it out, do what you want to with it. And I don't worry about right, wrong, or indifferent. I just worry about it being kind and said in a way that can be loving and accepted. So that's the only thing I worry about.
Right. Especially when you're at a party, you want it to be lighthearted. You want it to be fun. I mean, that's why they're there, is to have a good time, not to be bombarded with something that would be conceived as morbid or whatever. I mean, you're wanting to have a good time.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, that lip thing, you would have hooked me right there. That would have been it. That's it right there.
And I hear that all the time.
I love that.
I hear that all the time. And what's
I love
weird,
that.
and I don't know if the other people that I work with do this, but for whatever reason, in handwriting and in lip print readings, I can also see vitamin deficiencies and health issues. Go figure. So,
Yeah.
well, leave it up there a minute.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, you need some complex B, and you need a little more zinc, babe. So,
Zinc, that's what I've been trying to find. And zinc is like nowhere to be found at the moment. So I'm trying to find foods that will encompass that.
well,
Zinc is real hot right now. Zinc is a really hot item.
Well, and zinc is something that people don't think about a lot, and I don't see that in a lot of people's diets until recently for some reason as a deficiency. But it's really funny to me when I'll tell people that, and they go, "I just went to the doctor and they just told me that," and I'm like, "Well, they must be so."
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I don't have any
zinc.
So.
I always have it in my
and I
drawer.
can't find it. So that's really cool to watch you do that with Elizabeth, because I don't have. I'll have some next week. I got some coming in, but I have one tube and I can't find it.
So here's the thing. Here's the
I
thing.
have a whole bunch because of my mom. I mean, she had a whole bunch and she never used. And I keep one at my desk, so when I have a client, you know, I don't look too scary.
Really? That's how you figured that out? That's how you figured that out? Really? Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you something about myself that people may or may not know. But
nobody knows.
But the reason I'm telling you this is that this is why I think I can relate to a lot of different people on a lot of different levels, because I am an empath, but I also have empathy, which are not the same things. There are a lot of empaths that don't have empathy. Go figure. Okay? And of course,
true. That's really no joke.
No, and it freaks me out. It really does, because I don't know how that works in your life. But anyway, so my parents were divorced when I was 11, and I lost everything because my mom moved. And I lost my family, my friends. When we moved here, we didn't bring any of our belongings. I didn't have my toys. I had a library of books. I didn't get my books, which was really important to me. It was really interesting to hear you talk, Elizabeth, about not reading. Reading saved my life. I started reading when I was 3.5. And
It does a lot of people.
It does. It is. Reading is my best friend. It really is.
That's a lot of people's choice.
I got a scholarship to an Ivy League school. Did not go. Didn't want to go. Couldn't stand being in school anymore. I was tired of school. The school bored the hell out of me. I couldn't stand the relationships of people at school. I just going to school anymore after I graduated high school, the idea of that just killed me. It was like hearing I was going to go to jail. And I mean, this was an Ivy League school. It wasn't like I was going to go to Richland, but I wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
I've been self-employed and since I was 9, full-time since I was 21. My businesses don't seem to have any relationship, but to me, they make perfect sense the way they fold into each other and overlap. Because I was in a think tank for Honeywell and Wayne Computers, and then I had bail bond companies, and then the PI business, and then I worked in the mental health industry, and I was the education director with NAMI. And you're like, well, what does those have all in common? What they have in common is I was dealing with human misery and trying to make the world a better place and a safer place. And the biggest life lesson I ever got, because I grew up in a family of law enforcement, and I was told that criminals were terrible, you know, they were the scum of the earth, they were trash. That's the attitude I was raised around. And the biggest shock of my life when I was in the bail bond business was that I liked all of my clients. They were interesting. They were fun. I got how they got to where they were, okay? I got what was missing in their life and that what they were trying to fix by being criminals, if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah, it does.
And and I saw a lot of mental health issues at the time, but I didn't understand what that was. That was to come later on. I have been married 5 times. I was widowed. I was married to a gay man. All these things do a lot of educating if you allow it. You can be a victim, or you can become more evolved. And I made up my mind at a very early age to become more evolved. And I have a lot of people, when I do sit down and actually share some of the details of my life, they go, "You have a tragic life." I do not feel like I had a tragic life. I feel blessed. I've had an interesting life. I've had the opportunity to see and feel and hear things that most people, I think they drown themselves in TV as a way of making up for that lack of experience. Even though people, I always tell people that I said I love the concept of humanity. I just can't stand humans.
Well, yeah.
I love people I have the ability to see people when they were 3 years old. I can see who you were when you were 3, and where you were unblemished and joyful and inquisitive and loving, and that's how I see people, and I get really frustrated with them when they won't let themselves be that person again. That really frustrates me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I was a happy child. Were you a happy child?
Yeah, I think I was. Because I'm very internal, so I lived in my head a lot. I lived outside a lot, I love, okay, so I think this is the weirdest thing about me. I'm sure people will disagree. When I was a kid, I did not play with dolls. Okay? Most of the people I played with in my neighborhood were boys, so I did a lot of boy things: baseball, bike riding, climbing trees, that type of thing. But when I played by myself, I did play with dolls, but I didn't use real dolls. Silver maple leaf trees have leaves that curve around like this, and they look like the silhouette of a human body. And I would pull leaves off the tree and make my families from the leaves. The big leaves were the dad, the middle leaves were the mom, the little baby leaves were the kids. And
oh my God, that's brilliant.
And that's what I played with.
How creative is that? That is so creative.
Well, it sounds a little pitiful.
I don't think so. I think it's extremely creative. You create what you have.
So
with what you have, you create what you need with what you have. I think that's brilliant.
So I love doing that, and I love being outdoors, and it's really unfortunate that I have some bad allergies at times. I have to be careful, but because irony of irony, I'm allergic to most medications. So, like, I can't take them.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, but I think that's why I have angel DNA. No, I'm just teasing.
I don't think that's a tease. I think that's for real.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out more when Kay Horn comes on Friday. She'll be able to help us understand that.
There we go. Kay Horn will come on Friday. No. And we have Isaac Bradfield tomorrow.
He is fascinating. Oh my God.
Kay's not coming on Friday, ladies.
Huh?
Kay Horn's coming on the 23rd.
Oh, well, she'll be here.
No, Kay Horn will be here on the 23rd.
Right.
Yeah. So Friday you have Stacy.
Sunny.
Oh, Sunny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I got to show everybody this piece she just delivered for me today. Where did it go? I just got, oh, it's in the box. Good God. So Stacy, Sunny
You put it up.
is going to be here on Friday.
Look at that.
And this doesn't do it justice. This is a lodolite, which is like a stone in a stone. So you can actually see me through it, part of it. And it looks like moss inside of there. And this is the way she wire wraps. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? I'm telling you.
That is beautiful.
She's the most fascinating person I know. She really is. So, all right. So what else you want to know?
Wow. That just kind of blew me away.
Well, I think we're kind of at our limit. We got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. Something you want to share with us?
Well, first of all, this what we do every day is a community project that's sponsored by the Council of Families for Children. This is a 50c3 nonprofit that I have been running for years. There's a whole story behind that as well. And because of that, and it's devoted to holistic health, but also with a foundation in mental health, I answer the phone number almost 24/7 as a support line, 972-494-3232. And we have all kinds of courses and curriculums to help people with parenting and communication. If you want to be certified as a coach, we have classes for that. If you want to be a handwriting therapist, we have classes for that. counciloffamilies.org, 972-494-32 is making this possible for you. So
It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I want to mention that Isaac Bradfield will be here tomorrow, astrologer extraordinaire, and he'll be talking to us from Idaho.
oh really? I didn't know that's where he was. Now he's really fascinating. Now you talk about someone that has detailed information. I mean, I get lost sometimes.
He does.
You know, because I don't know anything about astrology. I don't know anything about numerology. You know, any of that stuff. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank God it's going to be.
Well, I still, when he mentions things, I have to do and go look things up, and that's when I know it's like, wow, I had to actually go and look it up because I have no idea what that means.
Okay, so
I love stuff like that, though.
So we have him on tomorrow. We have Sunny, the jewelry maker, Friday. Next week we're going to have Kay Horn. We're going
Sandra Larson on Monday.
Who?
Sandra
Oh,
Larson.
Sandra Larson's on Monday.
Sandra Larson.
She talks to animals. She's like Dr. Doolittle. We have Kay Horn. We have Cheryl Cole, who is coming on. She's a hairdresser and talks about the therapy that hairdressers don't get acknowledged for and why that's so important. And I actually am I'm working on a young lady who is a 27 years old, who is a clothes designer here in Dallas. I'm working on getting her on the show to talk about how clothes don't define us. We define the clothes that we wear, and why that's important, and how that.
We've got Annette Bingham on as well.
I was getting there, and Annette.
I've got some of her pieces.
I have three.
And you've got some of her.
3 pieces right here. I'm looking at them. 1, 2, 3. I should be able to turn the camera around and show that to you guys. But yeah, just 3 pieces in this room. And I have some. I'm going to wear one of her art pieces. She makes wearable art. I'll wear that the day she's here, and y'all can see that. So.
Didn't she do a vest for you not too long ago?
That's exciting.
No, it's a blue jean jacket.
A blue jean jacket.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was pretty.
You know what? Are we not adorable in our hats?
I'll get some of my pieces, and I'll have those ready for her as well.
Yeah.
She sends me a lot of sugar skulls, and I'm just like, oh, I'm in heaven. Thank you so much.
I didn't know that.
I just love it.
Well, you're special. Now, you know what we ought to do?
My favorite holiday really is the Day of the Dead, because that's the day that we really honor our moms and dads, our families. I mean, it is a time to really honor them, not to mourn them, but to honor them and to recognize that their lives were special. And as long as we mention them and keep them in our thoughts, they never die.
That's really cool.
So to me, the Day of the Dead is more of a almost spiritual to me, because it is so significant in what we're leaving our children. I mean, it's our heritage, and we should honor our heritage. And sugar skulls, not just skulls, but sugar skulls. There's a difference.
Well, then you're going to have to explain
both,
that.
But my favorite is sugar skulls.
Oh, and you know who else we're having on? Martha Decker. Martha Decker is a friend of mine. She used to be a PI with in my company, and she's done law enforcement and all kinds of. Gosh, she's done a lot of crap, but not crap, but you know, crap. But you know, there's crap and then there's crap.
All the crap, yeah.
Kind of crap I've done.
Opposed to the bad crap.
Yeah. She has been investigating the haunted place in Mineral Wells. I can't remember if it's a hotel or a house. So I don't want to.
It's a hotel.
Yeah, it's a hotel. And she's
Isn't it the haunted hotel?
Yeah, and she's actually stayed there, and she's writing a book about that. And she's coming on too as well. One of the we have a lot of people. We're getting popular.
We're
I have never been popular in my life. This is fascinating.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really interested in the paranormal investigation. I think that's what one of my next passions to do is to go out, do paranormal investigation, but mainly for the purpose of not proving it, because I think everybody at this point believes in the paranormal. They've had experiences, but it's to go out and reach out to those that have gotten stuck in between the dimensions from here and home, and helping them to cross over. So anything or anyone that we can have on that would educate us and help us, because I haven't done a lot of that. I've done some of it, but it really is one of my passions, and I have crossed spirits, but I would really love to go to places where there are energies stuck and help them to move on, and mainly places that have real, I mean, death is tragic anyway, but but horrific things that, I have an amazing story I could tell you about in Waxahachie several years ago, but I'll share that for another time. It's a good example of how spirits don't understand they have the power to move on. Right. It's just in their own, their own perception to think that they can't. And so honoring them and showing them how to do that. I would love to meet, and even once we're out of this quarantine, is go on some of those investigations at nighttime. That would be interesting to me.
Well, I think
I want to be selfless here and have a plug for more information about that very topic. You can join me and Dr. Chuck Murphy tonight, 8 o'clock.
Be there. Be square.
Talk Radio, Ascension Goddess Radio with Ghost Talk. We will be on tonight at 8.
Yeah, you know what's funny? We were going to do a radio show, and we're doing this instead. So we have so many people coming on. We need to schedule one day a week, where we just BS. Get on here and talk about whatever we want to talk about these things.
And that could stand for be serious or not.
Well, it won't.
Yes.
It won't stand for that. I won't stand for that.
Not if you're on here. It's not going to last long. I know that. It just automatically, I can just see it curve right now.
Okay. Yeah, this is coming from the woman that showed up for the show in her bathrobe. Get real.
It was real. And it was comfy. Look, I had on my pearls. So as long as I had on my pearls, I'm okay.
So
and I put on my pearls with her.
So you won't be surprised when I tell you I don't have.
I had a night shirt on. I didn't have scope, but I knew that was her. That was going to be her theme yesterday.
So you won't be surprised when I tell you I don't have any pants on right now because it's comfy.
Okay, I think our show is now over.
Yes,
Thank
everybody
you
have
so
a
much.
wonderful day.
I do have
See you
pants.
tomorrow.
Look, see, I do have pants.
Don't get up. Oh my gosh, she's gonna get up.
I got pants. I got pants. All right, I'm turning this off.
Don't encourage her, folks. Don't encourage her.